What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Pierre's Panic Room. And you know what it is? You see who the guest is. You saw the list. And normally I read the comments, but time is of essence. And I have this brother here, and I don't want to waste no time, so we ain't doing the comments this week. Y'all know him. Y'all seen him in all types of films, man. I'm so lucky to have this brother in here right now. I'm excited, man. I didn't realize how much he's done until I started doing my research, and it took me a little while to do the research, but we got him here sitting down. I'm happy, y'all. Give it up for the one and only Mr. Isaiah Washington. Give him some love, y'all. Give him some love. All right, brother. So let me tell you, I was doing some research. I've known of you, but I don't really know what you did. I didn't really know the backstory of everything you did, all the work you've done and stuff. And so I didn't know everywhere from being a writer, producer, director, an activist in the military. I decided to write it down on something, and I just was, well, shit. I mean, I was like a scroll here, you know, of what you've done, brother. What you've done. What ain't you done? Okay, have you worked for the DMV before? But no, so no, man. I was really impressed, man. I was like, wow. And I told my friends that you were coming on, and the response was kind of, they were excited. They were saying good, but they're like, he's a different kind of brother. I don't know what you've given off, the vibe you've given off, but they said he's a different kind of brother. They loved you, they respected your work, but they felt like, I said, okay, so let me sit down and have a conversation with the brother and get into it. I love the fact that we talked on the phone for a second, and I felt like you were just a real brother. I think people may have misread you, and some people have, you know what I'm saying? You're just a cool brother to me, man. Maybe they've bought into some stuff or thought of some stuff and said, well, maybe, I don't know. But we're gonna focus on you here. And what you stand for and what you work on, man. You know, so let's get with it, brother. Let's get with it. I didn't know you was in the Air Force.
I think ultimately that's problematic.
Being in it.
I mean, I've been around before the internet had comments.
There you go.
Right?
Real?
I've been doing this since 1986. And I always said to myself that I never wanted to be a movie star. I started off in theater and education after I got out of the military. I found myself at Howard University, homeless. I say that I've had my first midlife crisis at the age of 23.
How were you homeless and how does that happen to be in?
I got a divorce.
While you were in college?
Nope. After I was married in the military.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
And I didn't want to be married anymore. I didn't want to be an engineer anymore. I didn't want to work behind a desk.
Right, feel you.
And I was a part of this company that sold O-rings, seals. And at the time we had just fax, microfiche, things like that, fax machines. We didn't have email systems at that point yet. And I was concerned that these O-rings were being sold to the NASA program around the world. And I was sending a lot of my people that were above me saying that I have concerns about these O-rings. Long story short, the same O-rings was put in the Challenger that blew up in 1986. And I found that out while I was in Linköping, Sweden, working for this particular company. And that hit me very, very hard because I felt I could do something about it.
Right. Well,
but capitalism and politics won over. And it's like, well, at that time, Reagan was in the dumps. So they needed McNair, this African-American, this teacher, McAuliffe. You know what happened. So when that happened, that changed me. That changed me. And I didn't want to be in the private sector anymore, and I did something about it.
But what was the concern? How did you know the concern?
There's a shelf life. It's like, I was the kind of person that worked on warranties. Like, I was the kind of engineer that could tell with stress how many times you can move this and it's gonna break.
Sure.
Have you ever had a warranty and something would break or go wrong? And you say, oh, it's no problem. You go pick up your warranty and it actually expired the day before. That was my job.
So they know how long something may last, and right when
Stress
about to
test.
stress, and when they think about it's going to be over with, that's when the warranty's gone.
Because they need you to buy more parts.
Yeah, it makes sense,
The same thing with iPhone upgrades. The money is in the recoupment of the investments or whatever they're building is in the piece parts. So the more parts they sell to you
Okay. Makes
for
sense.
your car, whatever, the more money they make.
Okay. Okay.
So that's pretty much changed my mindset of how I wanted to be in the private sector, and I was lost. I was homeless for a while. Worked at Kelly Temps and met this young lady at IBM. Pretty much revamped their expediter. Actually, like a credit person that could make you pay your bill.
Okay.
Got the attention of the president of IBM. I didn't want that job, but I wanted to date this woman. So in order to date her, I had to go to church with her. I had to be born again.
Oh wow.
Became born again, and fell in love with Jesus. I didn't want her anymore.
Oh no.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And the music director, Malcolm, I remember, says, I want you for this play. So I played this gay character named Cutie Pie. I played the character so well that was HIV positive, which was scary for people back then.
Sure. Yeah.
That the woman that I was interested in IBM thought I was gay.
No, sir.
So she wanted nothing to do with me.
Right.
So at that point, my gay music director says, you have talent. If you can fool her
Right.
and fool me, then maybe you should look into taking this seriously. And in 1986, I did just that. I was selling some pots and pans out the back of a car that I wasn't paying for, and ran into Nikki Love, ran into Vera Katz, who still, at 86, I believe, it still gives me notes from Howard University to this day.
These are casting?
No, she's
coaches?
a professor, emeritus. She was a professor at that time. I didn't have the money. I enrolled. I drove back to Texas, got my mom to sell to China. I gave her when I bought it when I was in the military from Korea and Japan. Silverware, drove back, stopped at Tuskegee University, said a prayer with the statue with Booker T. Washington holding the blanket over the students, slept under that, made it just back to get to class, my first class, and I got to audit my acting class because I took my Embry-Riddle aeronautical degree, my aerospace engineer degree, right? And brought that over. So that pretty much made me like a junior or like
Right. I see what you're saying.
close to almost a senior in terms of credits.
Right, sure.
So technically after that year there, I really only had about maybe a semester to graduate, but I didn't.
Was the reason you chose Howard out of any other school? Like, why would Howard?
Because at that time, that musical director gave me a book called by Oscar Brockett about stage lighting and design. So he said, you need to learn everything from the bottom up.
Right.
You need to learn, you're late. I was 23 at the time.
Well,
So you're starting late in the game. So I had to catch up. And I found out that there's a man named Ossie Davis that I ended up working with,
Great Ozzie Davis, yes.
that he had a theater company called the Howard Players. So I'm a man on a mission. I'm very passionate, right? So I get there looking for the Howard Players. Come to find out, there is no theater Howard Players. There's an international, world-renowned marching band Howard Players. So I was stuck, but then I wasn't. I was on campus, and next thing I know, I'm gonna start auditing these acting classes. And that's where I started doing my first play by Intozaki Shange, spell number 7. Okay. We call in Howard in theater called juries, whereas you go to semester and then you have to do a test. And I was in every play all over Washington, D.C., all over that place. And left a pretty good brand and name. I was only there one semester because I couldn't afford to pay the rest of the tuition. Right. I ended up getting a job in New York with the City Kids Rep in 1988.
Who'd you go to school with? Who were you in school around that time? Was Anthony Anderson in school? Who were you in
Anthony
school?
Anderson wasn't there at that time. We have, unfortunately, she's deceased, the wonderful Robin McClam, who's a wonderful actress. Rosalind Coleman, who ended up going to Yale. Unfortunately, you may not know her as much, but she worked with me as a judge on Bull when I did an episode of that named Roz Coleman. She's an incredible actor. I'm going to have her play my wife in one of the projects that I'm working on to really give her more of a shot. What is the name that was there that pretty much Stanley Mathis, there was Jose DeBoda, there was a lot of guys and girls that were there that I didn't know, but wasn't in that particular class. Chadwick Boseman wasn't there yet.
Right. Okay.
This was 86, 87. I think Kevin Grievous, who was a partner of mine, producing partner of mine, future producer partner, he was there, but I didn't know him at the time.
Okay.
So there's not any
like names we would just know, but the average person wouldn't know.
that was in that particular year.
Right.
That popped. I know Anderson came in, but I think it was a year or semester after I had already went to New York.
One thing I noticed about you, especially young, even now, you had classical black men feature. When you saw you knew you were a black man. And I feel like Hollywood sometimes gravitates towards that when they want a black man, opposed to light-skinned-ish or whatever. I just felt like that. And you're talented. So I felt like in the 90s, I realized, you killed the 90s. You worked 3 to 4 movies per year during the 90s.
You confused me with Nia Long.
No, I didn't.
I worked that much?
Man.
I think Nia Long had like 3 movies coming out a year. Nia Long was a beast. She worked so much. That's why I really hate what Hollywood is doing to her, man.
Right.
Because she should have had the bag and then some. See, that's the problem with the industry that a lot of people don't understand. And there's this animus that's happening, this conversation that's happening with Black British actors and our facial structure. It was a long time after I did Love Jones.
Okay,
I dyed my hair, and my activism was like, I'm not going to cut my locks because there's a hair issue with my sisters. They can't go to work with their braids. So I wanted to speak on that without having to speak on that.
Right,
it's like, what does our natural hair have to do with our intellect and our hearts and our minds, right? So from living single, actually, I worked with Queen Latifah. I played a boyfriend.
In the 90s, I was working in the 90s.
Yeah, as an anesthesiologist. And they wanted me to cut my hair and my goatee, and I refused. All my stands that I've taken, because I've always been clear on what you're saying, is our image, right? Knowing that my image, I'll tell Sidney Poitier and then Wesley Snipes and Eddie Murphy, of course.
Right.
My image wasn't really in vogue unless I was playing a thug. And that's what I was always relegated. No one was interested in me speaking well. No one was interested in that I understood the classics. They weren't interested in that at the time. Right. They only picked Denzel and Will Smith. They only and Denzel talks about this too. It's like, why do they only have to just be one?
Right,
at a time?
Sure.
Well, the thing is, which is what's happening with me now, is that they knew that their women may be attracted to me as well.
Ooh.
So they want to stave that off. And not only that, they also know that once we get into a thing, now that came out wrong. I'm so sorry.
I get what you get. Right.
I'm sorry, ladies. That's not what I meant. Once you get it, anyway.
Right.
We become extraordinarily competitors. For example, the NBA wasn't for us. Look at us in the NBA. The NFL wasn't designed for us to play. Look at who we are, but we're being coaches and quarterbacks now, but we don't own. I think when people understand that their competitors may be just as strong or stronger, just as intelligent or more intelligent, and more melanated, that's a threat.
They get fearful.
They get very fearful.
Yeah.
But we're a generous people. I don't wake up in the morning and think about what I'm going to do to somebody that doesn't look like me.
Right.
I don't see everyone as a threat. I want to be respectful, but I don't look at white and black. I don't know what that means. They're good people and they're bad people, right? I understand our black culture because obviously I've invested quite a bit in the bank of black culture. But what I've always been trying to say is that at some point, we don't have to divest ourselves from who we are, but we have to know, and I wrote an article for Huffington Post years ago about DNA, where we come from. All skin folk and kinfolk, right? Just because we look the same don't mean we're a monolith and we're all the same.
There it is.
But I've always been keen on the idea of wanting to be a producer and be able to compete, because I always knew that we're not being served the proper images the way they're serving people that look like them. Of empowerment, sexuality, funny, humor, this.
I just had that discussion.
Why is that? Oh, okay. Well, the only way you can do something about it is you're gonna have to step outside the system.
Right. Because they control it, and they're going to control how many come through. You know, if we're going to play their game instead of doing your own thing.
Well, I think the they are just very hurt people. The they are people that have allowed themselves to be incredibly disrespected, incredibly abused, to thinking that hazing is going to get them. Like, I think it's a good movie that people would ask me about being in the business. I tell them to go watch Kevin Spacey in this movie called Swim with Sharks, because I worked with Joel Silver, and he was a mad person. But the thing I learned about him is art collection, which I'm thoroughly invested in lithographs and contemporary art and contemporary furniture, because that's what he taught me. He was a horrible person to work for, but at the same time, there's always a silver lining when you're dealing with what someone says is negative and then what's positive, because everybody's not all bad. Right. Even though he was a tough person to work for. And my last movie I did with him was Exit Wounds, Romeo Must Die, Exit Wounds and Ghost Ship. I got much value from him in terms of how I can invest my money in other things that would appreciate. So I have to walk away with the scars and then walk away with the gold bars.
I remember one time I had a manager, I don't know if he was Jewish or not. I mean, I think he might, well, I saw some agents. And we were at a party one time, this is in the 90s, and I like thick women, you know, sisters, regular sisters. And I would see a thick sister and be like, man, look at all that, you know, booty. You know, look at that. They're like, oh my gosh, she's so huge. And then they would show the skinniest black girl, no booty, no titty. Like, my gosh, she's hot. And I was like, bro, what, you know, that it just showed me. I see why you cast those and not the regular sisters, because I think they just had their vision of what they thought was hot, and you would see the same of that. You wouldn't see as many dark skinned, full lip women, big behind, thick thighs and stuff. You see it more now, but you talking about in the 90s, I didn't see that many of them.
Yeah, I did my first movie, Strictly Business with Halle Berry. A.J. Johnson was cast first in that role.
In the Halle Berry, see, yeah.
And they said she was too dark.
See?
The other producers, they didn't turn them on. So when we talk about I talk about very small-minded, very myopic, very hurt human beings. Hurt people.
Right.
Right? And I saw that early on in my career, is that these people are really not that special. They are in a place of power because of nepotism, because they're just lucky, and just quite frankly because they're desensitized with whatever various drug that they're on, that they just don't feel anything. And I knew that there would be, just like my engineering days, there would be a point where there's a shelf life that's going to exhaust itself. Eventually people are going to see what I've been seeing for 30 years, and then they're going to have a choice, which is kind of where I am with my movie Corsicana. Just no different with my former mentor, or my ancestor now, Melvin Van Peebles, told me to do this 15 years ago. It's all I need is $1 million. Go direct my own movie and put it out there like Oscar Michaud did, and that's exactly what I've done. But I've always wanted to be a producer. I never thought I would end up being a director, because all the directors that I worked for are just not very kind. They just really know how to talk to people. And they pretty much roll like they were the king of the throne of that thing. So I always thought, well, to be a director, you got to be an asshole, like a real asshole.
Right.
And then you got to be abusing people. So I never saw that, but I saw myself being a builder, someone in the background that's going to build it from the ground up.
But many of the directors you worked with weren't actors, right? Weren't actors previously.
No.
Because
No, Warren Beatty.
No.
Well, people don't respect him as an actor, but
majority of the same, because
Clint Eastwood, people don't respect. There was a great gravitas actor, but he was still Clint Eastwood.
Because I've directed 4 movies, written, produced, and directed 4 movies, and I know how it feels to be an actor. How insecure we can be at times. We want reinsurance at times. Where I've been with movies,
I've never been that way.
Okay,
I'm always assured.
Okay, well you have. I know some guys, because they'll ask, was it okay? Was it
I know
a good
what I'm
shot?
doing.
Well, you do, but I know so many actors, and I've worked with some good actors, and I remember some directors like, come on, let's move on, next. They didn't connect with the actors. It's like, just do what you do, move on. And I just felt, I'm more of a like, you did a great job, or, what I feel the insecurities of actors sometimes, they feel insecure, some actors, but some of the directors I worked with who weren't actors before, they just did 2 shit. They're like, we're moving on to the next, whatever. Like, did I do all right? Yeah. I just felt like they were on it They want to just get it done and keep it moving, opposed to getting the
They're
best out
fix
of
it in
you.
post kind of
There you go.
Traffic cops.
There you go. Fix it in post. I like that. Fix it in post. And they would say that sometimes. We'll get it in post. We'll fix it in post. Like, wow. And I care more about an actor, feeling comfortable and getting it out what they feel, because I was an actor. But all right. Well, here's a question. You worked with actors who weren't quote unquote actors. You did Exit Wound. You worked with Aaliyah. She wasn't really a trained actress. Jet Li, DMX. As a trained actor, how do you feel working with those kind of people? Feeling like, is it a weird feeling? Like, they're not really trained. I'm trained.
No, I have a technique called acting for two.
Oh, nice. Well, talk to me about it.
You don't see it, and I always know that. There's a lot of films you'll watch me in scenes where actors may not be very seasoned. They'll cut to me just listening, because I'll probably be more interesting than what they're doing. If they're acting. If you see acting, it's bad.
Bad acting. There you go. Yeah.
Great acting is you don't see it, right? It's really about reacting.
Right. Acting is reacting.
Yeah. So I've just been trained to. My wife always says that I've always been making my own movie and everything I've done. She said I need to just finally just direct my own movie, because she says I'm always doing my own thing. I'm always making my own movie. And what she was saying is that, I always understood that less is more when you're full, spiritually, emotionally.
Okay.
Less is more when you're thinking loudly and you have something to say, because that thing there is just a piece of glass. It's just a mirror. It's going to pick up every little nuance, every little thing that you do. My eyes go on the right, my eyes go left, down, looking at you, looking off camera. It sees everything. It also sees the lie, and it sees the truth. So I've always tried to work very arduously to seek the truth. And my goal now at 59, soon to be 60, is that I'm working to be, my biggest compliment would be known to be an actor's director.
An actor's director. There you go. Yeah, same with me. Yeah, exactly.
What that means is that, like Peter Berg, it's like when you work with directors that understand the language, that speak the language. That's my goal right now after Corsicana.
Okay, you work with some people like, let's say Spike Lee. You work with him a lot. What kind of connection was that? I mean, did he just what kind of, as a director, I've been in his presence, but never as on a film scene. For you to work so much with him, is he one that lets you go and do what you do, or is he a heavy-handed director?
It's interesting, in a very intense scene. I was working with Harvey Keitel, and I only had 7 scenes in that movie. And I read the book and did the research, and the writer at the time who wrote the book, Richard Price, said, "You got Victor right."
Clockers?
Clockers.
Clockers, right? Okay.
And Harvey Keitel screamed out, "It's like, Spike, can I get some effing direction here?" Spike is not a one. Spike's direction is.
Wow. Hold on. Okay. Does that mean bring it down?
He directs like a baseball. Line coach. He doesn't talk. He doesn't say anything to you.
Did you know what that meant?
Of course, because I play ball.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Well, get it.
That's you're fired. You're out of here.
Oh no.
That's not good. You don't want that. You want this, that, or you could go around the home base.
As a director, I would always do this. I would say, give me what I want, and I'll give you a take of how you want, what you want.
That's a good process. I understand that.
And sometimes people relief, and they say, all right, I can do it. And just give me what. And sometimes those are jewels, because they relaxed and they're like, bucket, this is. Yeah.
It's like Clint Eastwood, and I've learned from him is that, if people are really prepared and they really trust you and they really want to work with you and for you and please you, not physically, but just creatively, you don't need more than 2 takes. That's why working with Clint Eastwood, I did it on my movie. You shoot the rehearsal. He shot the rehearsal many times.
Yeah, I've done that
because
before.
all the nerves, all the adrenaline is in place and you're ready to go. The thing about, this business as an actor in film or digital cinema is that you have to hurry up and wait.
Sure, I hated that.
You have to be already at the gate and ready to go. But that's changed now because, you can move much faster with these kinds of systems now, so you can just shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. But you don't have to overdo it like Stanley Kubrick or shoot 200 episodes.
Woo.
I mean, takes.
So takes, yeah.
That's something, some other kind of, grand mental illness.
It's not good. It's not good. Are you the type of actor? Have you asked someone before, like, can I get another take? Are you that type of person? I didn't feel comfortable. Go one more before we leave.
I asked Clint Eastwood. I'm the only person in history that's worked with him to date that asked him for. I got 3 takes. He shot the rehearsal, and we were using film.
Right, sure.
Then.
Can't waste that.
We had magazines that you had to put on the camera, right? Mm-hmm. And I heard this this noise. I'm like a rat. Like, what is that? It was so quiet because he never screams sound, roll camera, action. He just like, whenever you're ready, go. And everyone has an earwig. So the first AD tells everybody else, the sound person, okay, you never hear, you could hear a pin drop. And it was so quiet that I heard something that I never heard before. So we tried it again, shot rehearsal. We tried it a second time. That noise came again. And I stopped. And he's like, okay, I'm thinking I'm gonna get fired. He's like he's looking around ready to fire someone. And he thought about it. We started again. We didn't, and then he heard, it was so quiet, he heard the film clicking through, rolling through the magazine.
Wow.
Of
that's old school. Yeah, you don't hear,
of the camera.
Hear that no more.
He said, the kid was right. We can't use that. It was that quiet. So it was time to get a third take, and everybody applauded because we nailed it. They fixed it. What was happening was the magazine was a little clunky, so it wasn't moving smoothly. But it was that quiet. I aspire to have a set that creatively tranquil. I don't know if I ever get it, but I'm gonna work for it.
Now you don't have to mention the director's name or whatever. But have you worked with a director I hate to say melded in, but it just wasn't, the connecting didn't work. You're like, look, I'm gonna give you what I think you want, and I'm gonna walk away from this thing just saying, hey, it is what it is. Because I look at you as a trained actor who really cares about everything, but it comes to a point where if you work with a director, y'all don't click. Like, look,
I've worked with a director that's doing a lot of work in television, but he came out of videos. Everybody's doing videos in the 90s, right? And I did a movie with him, and the producer reminded me of how incompetent he was. Because I have a job to do. I'm not gonna be unprofessional. If you push me, then I'm gonna say what I gotta say to you, and then that's it. But it's never personal. But he was directing myself and Elise Neal in a scene, and we were supposed to be intimate, and he kept screaming, "All right, touch her leg."
Oh wow.
Oh no, rub her leg. Okay, now grab her titty. Okay, now get ready to kiss her. Like in the middle of the scene. And apparently he had been directing like that the whole movie. You've never seen this movie. You never will. Right. A very famous rapper produced it.
Sure.
It was garbage.
Right.
And he was garbage. Utter trash. I couldn't believe what was going on.
Right.
I was like, dude. I was like,
shut it up.
Then he goes, oh, no, don't worry about my voice. Just do what I tell you to do.
See.
Out of Chicago, total madman. He still works to this day.
Really? I'm about to say that don't sound like somebody could last in this business like that, But
because you got a lot of trash people in this business.
I read a book about Don Simpson and Bruckheimer when I first came to LA, and it said in the first page or something, a little thing. It said, and I'm prefacing it. It said, as long as you make Hollywood money, you can do whatever hell you want.
Ask Harvey Weinstein about it.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, it finally got caught up to where we're at now. But I was like, wow. And I thought about it. Well, I didn't know that was how But I was new to Hollywood, and he was a wild dude. But they made $100 million movies, with Eddie Murphy and Tom Cruise and all them, and he got away with murder from the stuff he did behind the scenes. I was like, wow.
Literally.
Literally, yeah, right. I mean, he had an assistant. He hired his assistant, but she had to have sex with him. That was part of her contract. Like, who does that? Well, he did that. You know what I'm saying? Probably some more too. So, I'm saying this because I was in Hollywood for a long while, and I just didn't feel comfortable. I just felt they'd done a lot of stuff. I saw people grovel, be not who they are. My friends of mine, like, are you crazy? Or done stuff I thought outside their character to fit in or to make it or get a part or something like that. And it just bothered my essence so much. But it was almost like, if I stood up, I got kicked to the side. Like, but I'm the one I'm saying what you guys saying behind closed doors out loud, and you kicking me to the fucking curb. And my same friends be like, man, behind the closed doors, they're like, man, brother, I'm proud of you. I mean, they go run right back into the situation. I'm like, boy. And I was kind of caught in between, like working so hard for myself or finding or running part of the game. I wound up leaving and I wound up producing my own stuff. I've written, produced, and podcasts, movies, like 5 movies I produced myself, a web series. Now, it's not financially rewarding, but it's emotionally rewarding inside.
You got it done.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind having some of the millions I've seen my other friends have and stuff who tap dance up in who took the abuse, And I feel like you went through some stuff. I'm not gonna say all, but you went through stuff, and I feel like you were one of the beginning of cancel culture. They jumped on you and tried to ride you, but I believe your talent. No. I thought they tried to.
I ain't never took no stuff.
No, they didn't take. I thought they tried to do.
No, I ain't never taken anything.
Okay.
The moment I've been difficult is when a producer walked in my trailer in Love Jones and says, "Before you go to that set, I'm gonna cut your locks off," and he had some clippers in his hands.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And I was like, okay. ICM, Chris Andrews, gave me something that very few African Americans have in their contract called consultation rights. Consultation rights means that you can't tell me what to do without having a conversation with me. You can't just make me go stand by the horse, do what I tell you to do. That wasn't the norm. And they weren't accustomed to us, Leah's and Lorenz Tate's and Bill Bellamy's being on the set. They always had this information, the bigoted ones had this sense that we should be grateful just lucky to be where we are.
Come on.
So I was considered difficult then because I knew what I was doing and knew who I was. I earned to be there. Mm-hmm. And Ted Richard was amazing to work with and knew I wasn't going to shave my hair. I just played a gay character, Republican Hindu character, to get on the bus for Spike Lee. Mm-hmm. Got fired from that. And he had to hire me back because he said gay is not wearing Timberland boots, jeans, and a Van Sue jacket. That's not gay, I said. And I said, you're a fucking idiot.
Right.
And I left. Right. I said, all the people I know in Brooklyn that are gay look like women are throwing themselves at them, don't even know they're gay. Right? Mm-hmm. So Ruby Cannon begged me to come back, and I got to wear my locks because I always knew the power of imagery that from that point on, I wanted to get to the point where I can remake the 10 Commandments. And I knew that John the Baptist probably would look like that. A Hittite, original Hittite, okay? Natural hair, that red color. So I've always been using their system to set up what I ultimately want to make for our people. I've never really been interested in doing it their way. Even in Romeo Must Die, my wife designed my leather suit. My wife designed that. The woman got fired for allowing me to wear Prada in that movie. She got fired because, and then I had a contract, but I lost it in a fire, extra space storage. Joel Silver said he would never, in my contract, it was like an addendum, Isaiah Washington would never be better dressed than any of my lead actors ever again. That was in my contract. Wow. Because I looked so good. I wore a little crazy long suit opposite of Del Rolando, but everything else was Prada, bro. Prada shoes, Prada suits. My wife pulled it here and sent it up there to Vancouver. I've always been pushing the envelope of, this is where we need to excel to be. You may not understand what it is, but this is what I'm showing you, how beautiful and elegant and intelligent we can be.
Here's a fight I have, and you're a proud black man, you're an artist. Where's your stance with a man wearing a dress? As an artist,
Well, when I put on my African dress, I am in a dress. When Chief Gondebe Maga goes back to Sierra Leone, I'm pretty much in a dress. Now,
traditional one.
I don't get in those conversations, man.
All right.
I feel like, look, if you're not hurting yourself, and you're not hurting me, do you, man?
That's how I feel.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you? I don't get into that.
Okay.
I don't get into that.
Oh yeah. I fought that fight for. I've been called all types of names, gay, because I support. I'm an artist. I support artists doing art. And that's at the end of the day. It is what it is. So, I've heard people come with me with.
Kilts are real. They happened. Many people wore kilts.
Yeah.
They still do. I think a lot of us, we busy ourselves with arguments that are not healing, that are not humane, are not helping us do anything but continue to chew on a very sour fat that we're very accustomed to. I think hurt people hurt people. and they're gonna chew on the same old, beat their gums on the same old things when they feel they can't compete. I really feel that when they're losing track of getting what they want, like America says, before you're 35, you're gonna be a millionaire. That's what the TV, everything is. Before you turn 30, then now you're 33, you're losing your freaking mind because you're not even close to being a millionaire. Who's telling you this lie? They are. Now you're gonna start doing cocaine, you're gonna start sleeping, you're gonna start being promiscuous, you're gonna start doing everything to catch up in Hollywood to get the bag. And you're losing your soul, and then you don't get it. And then 30 years later, you're gonna start blaming someone who took advantage of you because you let them take advantage of you. You know, it's mind-boggling at the people that I meet that wanna be actors, that are attracted to this business. And I think it's because it's such an easy way to make a lot of money in a short amount of time. And in terms of, there's a book called Weber, W-E-B-E-R. Okay. And they talk about the power of what the camera does to people. How you change, like you try to get people to take a picture, they don't want to take a picture, suddenly they're like muted, and then they get rid of the picture, then they're on.
Okay, I think
it's like there's a term for it, but this incredible German writer that explains how powerful that medium is.
Oh yeah.
And how attractive it is, because most people grow up watching that idiot box, not knowing. That's why they call it entertainment. You're being allowed to enter and then contained. You'll never get out of it. The brain remembers everything that it sees. Everything. It believes everything that it sees, right? It doesn't know that it's acting or make-believe. So imagine a human being watching violent imagery, sexuality, illicit behavior, negative behavior, positive behavior, comic books. You believe it, you know? You believe it. Like, most people think that I'm Dr. Burke to this day.
Oh, wow.
Or they think that I'm Chancellor Jaha to this day. Or some people recently think that I'm Mayor Tydell Ruffin. Whatever they love to hate or love to see, this phenomenon that, you know, I'm not who I am. So some people get disappointed when they meet me, and then some people are thrilled that they meet Savon or this and that, but that's my vocation. I understand the phenomenon, but what I'm trying to get to for all of us is that I'm trying to use my experience to capture and change the narrative through that powerful thing by actually depriving you of violence, depriving you of what your brain is really expecting to see. And it was done very, very well by Jules Dassin on the movie Rififi and Francois Truffaut and the 400 Blows. They call it the French Wave during the 54 to 64. It was just, they were like the Coppolas and Spielbergs and the outsiders, right? I'm enjoying being an outsider right now because I always have been. I've always been an aardvark, and I've always been different, and I love being weird. All those things are not negatives to me. I embrace them because it makes me that much different, and then it makes me that much more interesting to pretend to be someone that I'm not, because my biggest fear is not being credible or believed as an actor. But whether you get me personally, I'm not, you know, that's we're human. That's, you know, I can't control that.
Right.
But if you don't believe me as that character, and I've wasted your 42 minutes, or whatever you decide to come and see me, then I have failed. I really feel bad. But if you don't get me as a human being, I'm not gonna lose any sleep. Not supposed to. 15% of the people that I meet are not gonna like me or understand me no matter what I say or do. So I focus on that 85%. And when people try to get 100%, they end up slapping people at the Oscars.
Wow. All right, I like that.
No, that was petty. That was petty. Can y'all delete that? Y'all delete that. Was petty.
That's funny.
That was petty.
Let me.
So you want to be loved 100%, you end up slapping other people.
I know.
On your biggest day, like on your wedding day, you're going to slap the wife.
That's real. Wait, let me ask you.
That was petty too. Did you get that one? That was petty.
And that's something I want to come ask you about. Just like I said, is the right word enigma? You're enigma. Like people, that's what I said. People heard.
You know these labels, man. You know, I'm at the closet now. I'm coming out. I'm so out right now, bro. I'm a black redneck.
Oh well, shit, nigga.
Great country thug. You feel me?
Really?
I love being a country thug. Katari did the best thing for me to have that go-to brand Negro called Mayor Tydell Ruffin because I wasn't acting, bro. I was just being
And
me.
P-Valley, yeah.
That dude was stunning.
Yeah.
That's Uncle Butchie. That's everybody I grew up with.
Right.
And the dude riding a horse with his gold tooth in the opening of P-Valley in the middle of the street, man, that's how I'm gonna end up at 75 years old, man. Somewhere in Texas, butt-ass naked with boots on, riding a horse, man. That's how I wanna go out.
Well, okay, well,
I'm being funny.
Right. Well,
don't take that seriously, come on now. You're a funny guy. Come on, do some more paper roll and shit. Like,
really, tap dance for you?
that was a good joke.
I'm not tap.
When I watch you on YouTube, mama, joking.
Yeah, I know, but it's a different situation now.
No, serious. Like, I'm gonna get the interview.
No.
That's why we were outside about to swing.
In fact,
I want to cover you. Like, fuck, I ain't got time to talk about my childhood or this motherfucker.
Okay.
But we having a good time.
There it is. So that's what part I want to talk about. So you talking about all that shit. How in the hell you became a Trump supporter? Nigga, what's wrong with you, brother?
Okay, now let's talk about that.
Mind?
Okay, have you ever seen the movie? You ever seen the movie? Now I'll give you this. Now this is gonna get twisted.
All right, well, twisted then. Shit,
don't fuck it up.
All right. Damn Trump.
Have you ever seen Spook Sat Behind the Door?
Door by the door.
What do you do when the whole world calls you out your name in 65 languages, steal $40 million from you, which is really 80? What do you do when they besmirch you so bad that your own people hates you? Well, when I decided to go to the White House, when Meek Mill was the head of criminal justice reform, someone told him, if you go to the White House, I'm gonna drop you. Well, Van Jones brought me on, knowing what was gonna happen. I put a tweet out on April Fool's Day, thinking I was being funny. But I'm not known to be a funny guy.
Right, that's it right there.
And I said, wow, imagine this. I'm sitting here with the First Step Act, which is a great policy, letting out 91% of people that are first-time offenses, dime bag of weed. Van Jones cut 50. Jessica Jaskin, who was on my cooking show on Fox Nation. We talk about this. Invited me to come to the White House to sign the historical bill. Ye was there first. Kim Kardashian was there. It was all about this First Step Back. I'm there watching like the Super Bowl, see it this way. This is really a good policy. And what it did was it expunged you. So when you got out, you were a returning citizen. You didn't have any history. Matter of fact, one guy, he's just bought his second shrimp boat in Alaska. That did 20 years for a dime bag. So it does work. It did work. The policies is not the president's idea. No president. The policies, you got some really smart people on both political parties that are really putting together some really good things. And I've always been about the policy. I became a Trump supporter, which I always thought was a pejorative, is because I put a tweet out and Fox News needed someone that looked like me,
black man,
to throw in there to start a fire. So what I did on Twitter, I just leaned into it. Greatest performance in the history of, people forget that I voted in 2016 for Jill Stein, and I voted for the Green Party.
Right.
So I said, since y'all gonna make me a Republican, I became a Republican. And I leaned into it, and I tweeted about, I had people coming on my Twitter, man, out for 8 hours. I would just bang with everybody. Right. I purposely got in beefs, I sat with some bourbon, and I put on a show. I said, so y'all gonna kill me twice? So the conservatives gonna use me and my name without my permission, and I'm not a conservative. So you're gonna use this beautiful melanated skin and think I'm not gonna get something out of it? Hey man, I'm from Texas, bro. I just leaned right into that one. I said, I'm gonna find these abolitionists.
So you played them trying to play you.
Yeah, I got the movie made by conservatives and Republicans in the state of Texas. I'm
even carrying
my honorary member, and I'm gonna pull out one of those
Herschel Walker moments. Well, you have to have the boots for it, so you're ready for it.
My honorary sheriff badge. So I'm like Bass Reeves for real.
Oh, okay.
See, you don't play a player.
Oh.
Not when you a country thug. Look at her. Look at you. I like saying that, you country thug. I'm so happy in my boots.
You're the actual usual suspect.
You got it. So it worked. Now here's the headline. There's a lot of MAGA people out there. They're not MAGAs and not deplorables. They're my age, and they have brown grandbabies. So those are the people that are buying my movie, y'all. Those are the people that's giving me my freedom papers because they're abolitionist spirit. Just I wrote California in my movie. I'm not trying to sit up here and cape for no white people, black people, because they're human beings. I don't play that game. I found those abolitionist spirits, those kind of people that pretend to be something they're not, so they can survive. You know, if you take us off the planet, as Toni Morrison says, it's just balkanization. They don't have no problem murdering their own. They don't need us, melanated people, to be here to kill. They're happy. Look what they're doing in Ukraine.
Well, right, sure, they can. Yeah.
They did, so I said, okay, I never said I was a Trump supporter. I did go to the White House. I did support the First Step Act. Y'all saying I'm a Trump supporter.
And you ain't saying right. You ain't
I'm not gonna say
disagree.
anything different. I'm saying, but what it is, I lived in New York. What y'all missing is that if you look at my tweets for 8 hours, I always bring it back to the bad press that I got unjustly with Grey's Anatomy. Look at the media.
Yeah.
Look at what the media is doing, guys. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. If they could tell you that Trump is the most first beloved billionaire,
Right.
and then within months of being in the White House, he's a monster, a racist, everything he is, I could shoot somebody in the face. Everybody, he think he's funny. You know, out of context, just one thing after another.
Sure.
15 years, 27 years of marriage, February 14th, my 27th anniversary. People don't know my wife.
Because they don't ask.
They're asking all the wrong questions. They're asking the questions of what the propaganda and the brainwashers are saying you're supposed to ask me. I never said I was a Trump supporter. I said I was supporting Trump for being castigated and being besmirched the same way they used it on me, and it worked.
There you go.
I said, they do it. Obama, because of me, got a pass.
Hold on.
Think about it. Obama never got attacked in the press because they did me so dirty that they even felt bad. They said, we can't do that to him.
And that happened around the same time he was running for office, yeah. 07.
They said, we can't show our hand. And plus, he has a Caucasian mother, too, so that's all he talked about. So it was an easy breezy.
Talk about that black African father. Come on now.
No, but I'm just saying, I was so proud because I voted for him twice. I was in revenge mode. I was like, I just want a black man in the White House with this beautiful black sister,
Right.
and I won.
Right.
It wasn't, I knew he wasn't going to be able to get anything done.
What?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be tough
Oh, right, yeah.
politically.
Yeah, sure.
But he did it. He got in there. It doesn't matter. 8 years, he got 8 years, not 4. 8.
Right.
He was this
That was a
temporary
start.
employee, so he got what he wanted. And I met him. I used to check my when I was lobbying for Sierra Leone, I used to check my messages in his senator office when my book came out. When my feet started hurting, I would go in his office and check my email.
In the White House?
No, bro, in the Senate building.
Oh, Senate building. Oh, okay. I was like, damn, you got in the White House?
This is before he became president.
Oh, okay.
No, when I was in 2006, everybody told me that's your new president. He was already picked.
Yeah, well.
They said that guy over there, they couldn't even say his name. They were saying Barack Husseini.
Right. But Bush had took the country so far down that they were going to give it to him. Come on. We were losing jobs and
You know,
economy
this
was
whole
tore
voter
up.
thing, and I'll never vote again in my melanated life, is that until you tell me who these delegates are at the Electoral College that make the final
Yeah, I know
decision
that's
of who
right.
the president
I know that's
is,
right.
then don't tell me what I need to vote.
Right.
Vote for what?
Right.
Vote for what? I'm a libertarian now. I won. I showed you that you can't kill me twice. See, you killed the actor off, and you created a producer. Then you tried to kill the producer,
Right.
and then you created a director. Ain't that cold-blooded?
Man.
Ain't that cold-blooded? Look
No,
at you.
not that-
Look at Gerard. Look at Gerard and said, man, that's a bad. I'm going to say that one more. You killed the actor off,
Okay.
and you created a producer.
What?
Then you come and try to kill the producer, and you created a director. Man, and you know I'm a 4-time hyphenate?
Oh, yeah.
There's
I read the
there's
list.
only like maybe 4 African Americans, including yourself, if you acted and directed and wrote something. Nate Parker Jr., Tyler Perry, Melvin Van Peebles, Spike Lee, and me.
Right. Wow. Okay. Speaking of that, let's talk about this movie, Corsicana. I saw it. Fantastic.
Thank you, brother.
Now, and I mean that honestly, fantastic. I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna sound terrible for me to say. I felt like it was.
No, you said some terrible shit outside, but I forgive you.
No, okay.
And I love you. Don't you ever come at me like that again, man. Don't do me like that. See, you've been reading the internet too damn.
No,
but go ahead.
I haven't. So I damn near thought.
Don't do it.
Right.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna say a white man directed it. It was like the shit looked like it was a regular big ass movie, man.
Stupid. Nah, he got
What the
jokes.
fuck?
That's what I'm talking
But
about.
I was like happy you
Come
did
on,
it though.
P.
No, I happy you. No, okay. So it's about a guy named Bass Reeves. For those who don't know,
I thought he was white.
you thought he was white?
I grew up in Texas. White people loved him, so-called white people loved him so much. In the Lone Region, I thought he was Caucasian, bro.
No, that big ass mustache, bro.
But they were taking it from him. So I didn't know. I didn't know, bro.
Right.
See, ooh, man. Look, I'm like 3 days away from finding out I could actually do my series, man. I want to get my series on. I'm not gonna get ahead of my blessing, let's say, but if I mess around and get this Bass Reeves TV series up and running, man, I'm gonna shut it. It's gonna be so many mouths gonna be open and fed, and so many mouths gonna be shut.
All right, so let's talk about this movie, Courtesy County.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Are we clear on the Trump supporter thing?
Well, I mean, you said you was doing the tomfoolery thing. You fool us.
No, I was trying to find an abolitionist. I was trying to find the people that would want to work with me. Hollywood, left, liberals,
Right, I see what you're saying.
wasn't trying to hire me.
Right.
I don't have an agent or a manager. I'm just going to just sit and just do nothing.
Right.
So I'm like, well, let me go to the other side.
There you go.
And I found people that were pretending to be something they're not either.
Damn.
Oh, it's deep.
I see. So everybody was kind of fooling each other, just trying to make it happen.
Bruh.
For real. Hollywood.
The people that are suffering are decent human beings. Yeah. See, I'm going to use this word, and I don't like it. White people are not used to being treated like black people.
All right now.
And that started happening about 8 years ago. They weren't able to excel financially. They were losing their jobs. They was losing their health care. It's like Dave Chappelle said, man, we've been on that.
Right. We've been on that, right.
We've been on that. So I come around at the time on having the same conversation, this holistic conversation, that saying that we've been on that. Now what are we going to do about it? You don't like what's coming out of Hollywood? Then change it.
Yeah,
get behind what I'm doing. So then if you empower me, then I can sit here and get behind what maybe get, Pierre more excited about coming over and doing this thing without them, so you can have more wealth building.
Right.
That's why it's important that I remain in this space that I've earned without them, because it's true independence.
You mean like producing and doing your own thing? Like
yeah, well, clearly I got a platform.
Right, sure.
I mean, clearly Amazon doesn't have a problem buying my content now. Hopefully we'll see the money.
Right.
But even if I don't, it's always about the brand. It's always like, okay, I can show you what I can do without the system, right? So if he can do that with nothing, what can he do if he had more than he had?
Okay. So here's a question. I know why, but people don't know. Why did you choose this character? Why did you choose to make a movie about?
I didn't. I got into a Twitter thing, so I'm sorry. I want to thank Robert Davi, the character actor, Robert Davi,
remember him?
Who texted me from Die Hard and the Goonies.
Yeah, I remember him.
Robert Davi, you called me last night. You said some really crazy things. It was disturbing. But Robert Davi
let's go right there.
Gave me the script on my birthday. Robert Davi had the first Corsicana script, who had Bass Reeves in it. But he didn't tell me that he was subjugated and that he was going to be shot. Robert Davi had more information than I had. I got on a plane with a young man that he directed who was completely inappropriate for the job. Robert Davi is the beginning of the what is that word? The beginning of the top, not the nepsis, the nipsis of the. He's the seed that helped me actually hip hop that script because what he thought he was probably getting, Robert Davi, is that, I was a good one. See, you thought I was a good one.
Good with me, follow along.
Yeah.
Get
See,
along.
that's old terms. Like I was a good one. So when you text me crazy, I'm gonna always show you that I'm gonna be better than a good one. I'm gonna be a better human being, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. And the truth of the matter is, Robert Davi left that movie not caring whether it would survive. I saved it by staying.
Who's he gonna? Oh, I don't even complain.
It doesn't matter. He was supposed to play one, which was Noah G's character. Can you imagine him in that role?
Not really.
Not really.
Yeah, not really.
But it was a totally different script. The movie that you're watching, that Robert Davi, thank you, all right? I thank you for giving me the opportunity to go through the grace of God and my ancestors and tell the truth about Bass Reeves because they weren't willing to. Robert Davi wasn't telling the whole truth, but I thank you for giving me the opportunity to correct what would have been yet another wrong, Robert Davi.
Right. So
thank you.
So let me ask you: Did you get the funds together for this movie, or was it already funded? It was already funded.
This woman had $300,000 to make a Western in 19 days.
That movie only cost $300,000.
That's what she had.
Okay.
They lied to her. For 4 months, he did nothing. She fell asleep at the wheel. It was caught. You know, COVID time. You know what I'm saying? And she just wanted to be in, fit in. She's the woman that's the investor and executive producer is the woman that's raped.
Oh, wow, over the table and all that kind of craziness, that was a heavy scene there. That was a heavy scene,
she's this is on her second movie. This is the most attention, the most success she's ever had. And I'm not gonna tell you why I stayed when she told me why she was making it. But I remember when my wife in her 40s, when she wanted to get out of my shadow, she wanted to do something. She's married to a multimillionaire who is the heir of a 100-year-old fruitcake business in Corsicana. So everything is about Bob McNutt and Corsicana and that business. And she's just the wife. So we had this conversation. I wanted to help her win. So I did my job. I wanted her to executive produce something that she can build her legacy on. I have mine.
Right.
But I couldn't do it until she trusted me to let me get rid of all the stuff that they lied to her about. I need double that from what they told you could make it for, and I need 2 more days. Okay, then we got close to under $1 million at the end of the day. But I probably had no more than, $800,000 to do what I did. But I already knew what I wanted to do because I had so many film references. And I had a great DP in Josh Shred.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Josh Shred.
Did you shoot it on location? Was it in Corsicana? You shot
all in Corsicana, and we wanted to kind of do what Robert Rodriguez did for Austin because it's so beautiful. Hopefully people will go to Corsicana and saw where we shot the movie, and they will be interested in shooting there on locations. I mean, I had it, but Bass Reeves wasn't. I put that in there. Bass Reeves in this Corsicana wasn't the lead. He was the guy that he went that way, boss.
Really?
Yeah. I ripped all that out.
I didn't know that.
The crew thought I was making a short film because I threw 100 pages away and started writing every day at lunch till I probably got 48 hours of sleep in 21 days.
Really?
I rewrote and had the writer rewrite. The story is his, but all the Bass Reeves, the California character, I wrote that because I wanted to show that all so-called white people are bad.
Right.
They're actually pretending to.
I started doing some reading up on him. He that's when I had to arrest his own son for murder.
He did.
His wife, but he got
But his son got out early because they were so afraid of him and they respected him so that was some injustice right there.
Right. I didn't really realize how many black men were in kind of powerful positions. Unfortunately, so many times when we see movies back in the 1800s, they're slaves. Slave kind of movies. But see, that man was a marshal. He ran
carried a gun for his master since the age of 8. He was an incredible tracker. I'm going to cover that. Taylor Sheridan, David Oello, good luck. But they don't have the nuance.
Right.
They don't have it, bro. They don't know. They don't. Well, thank you. They don't know what I know. They're going to do their thing for Paramount, and that's great. But I know this story. Yeah. I know it in my bones, man.
Right,
I was born. So thank you, Robert Davi.
That's funny. So you wrote horses and stuff. Are you a country boy?
I rodeoed and mule saddled in high school.
So you a country boy for real?
Yeah.
Or you need to turn into a country boy recently?
Nah, I just came out the closet with it, man. It just felt like it's okay to just be me. Now, don't get it twisted. I still, my Brooklyn thing, my boys back in New York, you feel me? And
we going to Brooklyn like this too?
I can, you can't.
Why can't you don't know me like that, player?
Yeah, I probably don't.
No, you don't. No, ain't no problem with that comment. You don't know. Remember, we make comments sometimes we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is, right there. I wear the fuck I want to wear where I want to wear that. There it is. All right. Well, that's okay. Yeah, that's right. What's that? And I wear this and I wear this. It's all real. Okay, ain't none of this fake. Bling bling blang in Brooklyn.
That boy got jokes.
Okay, there it is. Speaking of jokes, you like comedy too. You used to be around a lot of comedians back then. You used to go to comedy clubs.
Oh, Bill Bellamy.
I didn't know all that.
I used to help iron Bill Bellamy's clothes. Reggie McFadden.
Reggie McFadden?
Yeah, we lost him. He's not dead,
no,
but he fell out the game. He's somewhere.
Yeah.
But Reggie McFadden, Royale
Watkins,
Watkins.
Yeah. Did you
Those
think
are my
about
boys
wanting to be a
in
comedian?
Brooklyn.
Did you ever want to be a comedian? You thought about it maybe?
You know,
you tried everything else.
Corey B is trying to get me to do some stand up. Dewan B. Well, I might pop up and do. I might pop up and do 5-10 minutes.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm cold blooded with it, but
that's what you. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, hell, you can act like everything else. Act like a comedian.
I think I'm gonna take that note.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
You done fooled us with the Republican thing. You might fool us with the comedy thing.
Shit, I'm a libertarian now, man. I'm gonna keep it moving, man.
Really?
Keep it moving. And I even my tweet that said, "So long, Patriots. All you MAGAs, a bunch of grifters, man. When I got what I wanted, I was out."
Wow.
I learned that from black women.
Wow. Come on now, I got big black women fan base.
They pretend.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
They'll lead you to believe, and as soon as they get you to buy that car, as soon as they get what you want, bam!
No, you been with the wrong black woman for your wife. No.
Oh, my wife do it to me all the time.
Oh, shit.
She love, man. I done bought all kinds of like, and then it's like, oh, what you want? Like, damn. Like, what?
It's time for the car. Get that car for you.
What?
Well, you know.
Oh, man, they know how to turn it on, man.
Yeah. Well, women. Yeah. Well, see, one thing I learned is.
No, but there's some good people on both sides, and I'm done with the politics, man. I'm only interested in human beings. Seriously, about that. It's like the system is pushing all of us strategically to no man's land. That's why you keep hearing about this Chinese balloon just setting things up to get you afraid. And man, it's going to be crazy if Trump decides to run again. And that's all. It's just, I mean, you know, what's that saying? Is like what does that say? It's like you fooled me once.
Right.
Shame on me.
Right.
No. You fooled me once, shame on you.
Fool me twice, shame
fool
on me.
me twice, shame on me.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where I'm at. But I was a part of the I was in the military when the Russians was coming. I was a part of it, right? And it doesn't matter when you're dealing with an elite system and they only care about their money. And that even has no value. Gaddafi had to get up out of here because he said the country that has the most oil and the most gold controls the mercantile system.
Which is true.
Then he had to get up out of here. So I understand on that. I don't want no trouble, I don't want no problems. But, you know, I was a part of that system. And I know how they do what they do.
But you say that you are like for people now. It's all good. Yeah, we got to come on. Yeah, we're wrapping it up. You're for people, but do you feel like you have more of a responsibility for black people?
I don't. You know, I'm African American because I'm Chief Gunbid Mongat II. I used to be black until 2006. 2010, once I got my DNA, I went and built a school in Sierra Leone. I am 99.5%. Maybe there's some Wachitala in there. Mm-hmm. You know, because Alice Coltrane and my Hindu gurus told me that I was really born to set the Louisiana Purchase right. We don't go back and get that land. She said, yeah, you're going to do what you're going to do in Africa and get your dual citizenship, first human being based on DNA. Nobody cares about all that Malcolm X, Market Garvey stuff, because I'm a Garveyite as well. But you need to go get that land back. That was a legal purchase. That's what I was born, and I'm getting ready to move back into that direction. Now, the point is that I've said this before, we've been done dirty. We have been forced to create trash food and turn it into soul food. We have been forced to hold on to this social construct called blackness and make it worthy. But yet, even Martin Luther King says there's more negative synonyms to this thing black than it is white. I say like Morgan Freeman, you start calling me black, I start calling you white. I got a guy that I talked to and he says, but I am white. Kirstie Alley died without a loud argument. She's because I refuse to refer to her as a white woman. So I'm African American. I know I'm in Bundu out of Angola, where Queen Njinga resided, where she fought the Portuguese.
Okay.
Right? I'm part of the Mindi people that fought on the Amistad. I'm a part of a rebellious people. I know my history. So I know the mainland from which I come. Okay. Africa is in me. And that's not even the real name. It's Gabalan, right? So I know my history. And just like anybody else, you can't go to a dentist, you can't go to a hospital without a medical history. So now you have a people called white that know their history. They know they're from Scotland and England and Welsh and Ireland. But you got a lot of people that are sick. And we're trying to diagnose them without their history. You cannot go to the dentist, you cannot go to a hospital without giving them what your medical history.
Right, your history is.
So I always said years ago in my book that you don't know about a man from another land is that if the enslaver could take our DNA, he would have taken that too. Because we could ever find out from where we come, then we know where we're going.
Well, there it is right there, brother.
It's a Sankofa. Sankofa. Even when you go to the South, you see those little Ndinka signs, the little curls on the little hurricane fences and those little curlies there. That's just the Ndinka symbols of return to it.
Okay.
So all I'm doing is returning to it as my original self. The only thing black on me is my 2 toenails, bro.
Damn!
I'm a
Them
melanated
damn boots,
man.
and them
You
boots,
feel me?
man. Them boots is what
Now
it's
you
doing.
don't have to take that off. You say it's not attractive, but I don't really give a fuck.
Well,
You know what I mean?
okay,
'Cause
well,
I'm a country thug.
well,
Right? I don't care about all that.
I don't care what a man look like. It don't matter about being attractive.
Man,
So here
stop
it is.
playing.
What we
Stop
do.
playing.
What's up? This is what we do. We do a thing called IG Creep. We got a couple things for we in. We go to your IG page and we check out some stuff. And that's one question. I got my crew looking at your stuff. And we go to your page, we put a couple pictures up, and see what you was thinking. What was this about, all right? So let me tell you, it's up here on the screen here. What was you thinking? Okay, what was this here for? This was for the People's Choice Award, looking slick and clean. What was this, man?
Oh, that's my Prada suit and my Prada shirt. And
You remember this guy? You remember this guy?
Yeah, I was still dyeing my hair. It was getting ready
wow.
to doing the whole thing. They wanted me to still look like Dr. Burke for
Right.
the show The 100. And I wasn't feeling it. It was a Critics' Choice Award, and Harvey Weinstein was there.
You wasn't feeling his look?
No, that's Prada. I'm proud of that from head to toe, baby.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right. So, okay, we got another picture. So let me ask you, okay, this was
That was me giving my Denzel look, my mug on.
how old was you in this picture? Like 15, 16?
Oh no, that was
young as hell.
no, that was 2008, 2009, and I was just saying, Denzel ain't the only one that can give it that tight lip mug.
I love it. All right.
That's pretty much what that was.
Now what we got here?
Oh, that's recently. Oh,
right.
That's my trail boss guy there in Houston in my hometown.
That's the actress in the middle?
No. These people are.
Your white folk look alike to me.
No, this brother here, he's got cancer. He was a singer, but he has one of the most. I forget his name, but he has one of the most extensive collections in history of the Black Cowboys and Bass Reeves. And God forgive me, I forget his name, but oh my God, but he's an amazing human being, and I'm not sure if that's his lady or not.
Oh, okay.
But that was at the premiere in Houston.
Nice. Nice.
In Missouri City, Katy, Texas. Yeah.
All right. Next picture. This is what we filmed. This is the average day. This is what you get. This is what you give them.
Oh, that's after season 4. I left because some people were really misbehaving. I didn't want to be a part of that Me Too situation. And I was just sitting up there playing around, talking to people about the first step back, how they're coming at me, and they don't really understand that I'm really, So that's the hood. That's what the real hood looks like.
Okay.
You see, people talk about, the hood, but what I'm saying here is that hooded people can be very surreptitious and very deceiving. If you can't see their face because they're hooded,
right,
then you're probably gonna miss something.
Let's understand. All right, one more we got here. Oh, wow.
That's not me.
Oh, that's not you? That's on your page?
That ain't on my page.
It was on your page.
On whose page?
Your page.
On my Instagram?
Yeah, your Instagram.
That ain't on my Instagram.
All right. Everybody out there, go through Isaiah's Instagram. We see this picture. Let me know.
Didn't post that. That is not on my.
Somebody else posted that.
That's not on my. The real Isaiah Washington.
That's why I got the other ones. Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff is probably. You mean Twitter or some? I don't know who that is.
Okay, I didn't know. I thought it was you. I would say, damn, player.
He's being funny, man.
No, I ain't.
know who that is.
That's what it was, brother. That's what it was. All right.
Your
last
being,
thing-
he got jokes. I don't even know
No,
what
all
that
right.
is.
When we find that, we're gonna see what it is. I got a thing that we all play. It's called Spin the Wheel. It's where my guests come up here. You want to be a comedian, so we might have some fun here. This is a wheel we spin, and if it lands on something, you got to tell us what it is. Like the biggest lie. Yeah. If you had a preference on what would have to go on a woman, her face, her feet, or booty, which way can you live with a woman to say if she's missing one?
I'm not touching that. Just roll that thing. I'm not touching that one. I hope it don't stop on that.
Don't worry about it. Okay. Well, which one I'll go with now to ask you what you want to read, since it was like that. All right. So let's go with. We'll do a celebrity crush call. Lost your virginity. We won't do that either because you're married, so we won't do that. Let's find get some off your chest. Stop right there. All right. We'll get some off your chest, Isaiah. We spent it, and it stopped right there.
Y'all gotta start calling me a motherfucker out there, all right? That's what y'all got.
No, that's right.
Y'all don't even know how hard I'm working for y'all to keep them popos off of y'all.
Okay.
At a high level, y'all gotta drop that. That's what y'all gotta do. Because I got a very long reach. Ain't don't nobody get away from me. All right. The king of doxing. See, the thing about those MAGA people, they can find anybody. See, the MAGA people y'all cussing out, the judges, the sheriffs, the librarians, the teachers, they work in the DMV. Stop it, y'all. Stop getting on this federal page telling them what you're gonna do to the man. I know you need to be black, but if you stop being black, just 24 hours, then they can't be white. They need us to be black to shit on so they can stay white. Do you notice? Sway cut this out. The construct is stuck at white, black. What happened to yellow? It's Asian American. What happened to brown? Latin, Hispanic, Latinx. What happened to red? You can't even have the Redskins no more. That's power. They're Native Americans. That's power. They're not the indigenous. But this system still got a class, this thing with black and white. It still got people fighting over this. Yeah. What happens? You gonna be mad at the Africans? You don't want to be African Americans? So they got us twisted. They need this white-black thing because it makes so much money. But meanwhile, our dollars do not stay in our communities like it does in Chinatown. Even Kamala Harris is Asian American. Let me get out of here now.
Ooh. I'll give you your swag bag. You can leave up out of here. Here, no. Here's a bag we give all like our customers.
That's petty.
All right, man. Whatever. Here's your swag bag. You get a book. It's called My 100 Homies and Phonies of Hollywood. You'll be in part 2. I don't know which one we'll put you in this year. All right.
Probably both.
No, here, I can't.
Oh, wow, is that a live?
Yeah, man, I've toured everybody, bro. I've been around everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? You may have worked with everybody, but I knew people.
No, I get it. You don't know, you know.
Yeah, well, know and knew. Okay, that's it. So yeah, so we can read it and
Mystical.
Everybody, man. I did that.
Music Joe Show.
Oh yeah. I tour with people, man.
Oh, what you said about my girl Monique?
Well, it's up in there. It's up in there. You know, I'm from DC too. See, I'm from DC actually.
You know, then you Chappelle's land.
Yeah,
Chappelle's
land.
Is he from DC?
Yeah, in my land. How about you in my land?
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah, watch out now.
Yeah, you're right.
You just used to go across the street to the Wonder Bread factory when you was in Howard and get your little McDonald's and stuff right across the street here.
Man, I used to strip in Ibex, man.
What? Damn, here's old Georgia Avenue.
About some pictures. You have to go find kamikaze pictures. I dare you.
Here you go. You ain't official till you get one of my shirts, bro. Okay? Bam. No, it's good quality, brother. Come on now. I do like, it's like Corsicana. It's good quality, brother. All right, you like that, Boom?
I got some.
There you go.
I know what I can use it for.
And a do-rag for my show, brother. So here it is, man. I gave Isaiah Washington, thank you for taking the time out, brother, having a seat with me, man, on my show on Pierre's Panic Room, man. I really do appreciate that, brother. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here tonight with me.
This is a wonderful human being. Thank you for having me, seriously. Yeah, I'm weird, but in a good way. I'm not here to hurt nobody. I'm a servant of the people. And I hope that you guys appreciate getting to know me a little better here in the Panic Room.
Thank y'all. Give it up one more time. Isaiah Washington, thank you. Thank y'all for watching Pierre's Panic Room. You know how we do it every week. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll holler at y'all later. Thank you. you like that show, like, subscribe, and comment below. You know, hit the notification bell. Hit the subscribe button, man. We want you around. Appreciate it. With me.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything?
Shit, when I first saw you, I thought you were a white man.
That's awesome. Well, you learned I ain't, okay? Hey, it's all good.
Can't wrap this thing up.
Hold
You kind of got me confused.
That's all good. Can you just give me a
You look lighter than you do on TV.
Hey, could you give me a thing? I just hit 100,000 followers, man. Could you, subscribers. Could you say?
Oh, what a blessing!
Yeah, could you congratulate me on that on the camera?
Oh, well, I'm here in the
subscribers.
panic room, guys. This is a wonderful human being. Thank you for having me. Seriously, yeah, I'm weird, but in a good way. I'm not here to hurt nobody. I'm a servant of the people, and I hope that you guys appreciate getting to know me a little better here in the panic room. Thank you.
But yeah, let's congratulate my 100,000 people too.
And congratulations to your 100,000. I hope you get 1 million.
There it is.
It's only about 900,000 away.
That's all right. Every long step starts with a small
You
step.
don't edit this, you're going to get mad clicks.
Hell no. Oh, really? There it is right there. Thank y'all. Give it up one more time. Isaiah Washington. Thank you. Thank y'all for watching Pierre's Panic Room. You know how we do it every week. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell, and I'll holler at y'all later. Thank you.
Yeah, I did. I thought you did like one of my Jewish managers.